Howdy folks, this is another Bond Arms video. It happens to be a follow-up video to the first one I did when I brought home my 357/38 Special Roughneck for the first time. In that video I talked about the experience of taking out of the box, holding it up, and basically the trigger guard snapping just by me holding it in my front yard. Kind of an odd experience. Wasn't expecting that, of course. These are renowned for their quality. The Roughneck is their most cost-friendly or cheapest, if you will, budget, entry-level, whatever you want to call it. You will note the rough finish down here on the receiver and the black rubber grip. Just for comparison, here is a Century 2000. You can see there's a noticeable polish to it. So what do you sacrifice if you buy a Roughneck versus a traditional Bond Arms? Well, you can see that there's some marking on the hammer there where that is polished. So extra work incurs extra cost. So if you're wondering why they're able to sell this at such a lower cost, there's less work put into it. So having that broken trigger guard, very alarming out the gate. So I called up Bond Arms, I think a couple of days later, and a very nice young lady answered the phone, said that she was really sorry to hear about it. That was actually the first time she had ever heard about it, and so she was gonna rush me off a new trigger guard. 2 weeks later, I received the trigger guard, and 2 weeks seemed like a long time at the time, but this was during the beginning stages of the firearms were getting really hard to come by around that time, so they were probably pretty busy. Very nice customer service experience. No other issues with the Bond Arms whatsoever. At this point, I've purchased 3 Bond Arms. That initial 38, 357, I've actually sold that one because I got the Century 2000 and didn't really see a need for 2 357/38 Special Derringers. And I really like the Century 2000, so I sold it for basically what I bought it for. Hadn't put a lot of rounds through it, so it was basically brand new. This is the 9mm Roughneck that I bought for my wife. Probably have to do a review on this because I haven't shot it yet, but if it functions like any other Bond Arms, it should work just fine. Another thing I should note on that video, on my Bond Arms fail video, Gordon Bond himself left a comment in that video saying that he hadn't heard of any other issues with the trigger guard snapping. So I really think this was a one-off. Maybe the FFL dropped it or something. Granted, I don't really think they should break if they're dropped, but anything can really break. So I really think that was just my bad luck and a really just one-off experience. Definitely seems to be the exception and not the rule. So I'm going to go ahead and recommend Bond Arms. They're really the only Derringers that I've had any experience with, but they operate really well. The only thing is, with 357 and that small profile, it'll kick up on you. Ooh, felt that one a little bit more. There is a vast difference between 357 and 38 in these I found. The 9mm should work just fine. I got a 410 barrel that if I want to switch it out and run 45 Colt or 410s and this, which is a nice option, but these are great little Derringers, and if you go out and look online and look at some of the reviews on the other Derringers that are out there, there's little to be desired in a lot of them. And Bond Arms has a stellar reputation, really good customer service experience, so I don't really have anything else bad to say about Bond Arms. So they are what they are. You're getting a 2-shot revolver. Now I see comments about weight ratio versus the number of rounds. If you're worried about weight to shot ratio, maybe the Bond Arms isn't for you. Some people just like them as a backup gun. Some people do rely on them as their primary concealed carry, personal defense. I'd say they're good for all of that. I really do love the Bond Arms, so I just wanted to give you guys a quick update video, tell you about that customer service experience. No other issues. Let me know down in the comments if you have any questions about these. And if you're interested in seeing a review of the Century 2000 or the Roughneck 9mm, hit subscribe and click the notification bell so you'll see those videos when I do post them. Alright guys, that's all I got to say about the Bond Arms today. Until next time, later.
Thank you.